Hey everybody, it's me, Kyle here, and this time we're going to be reviewing Kingdom Hearts 3. Now this game has been on everyone's wait list, and let's just say it's been a long wait, so yeah. So first of all, I'm going to be reviewing graphics, gameplay, and story. We're going to be doing that in that exact order, so I'm going to be talking about graphics first, so let's get right into that. So now we're getting into graphics. Now, each and every world looks just absolutely beautiful. Kingdom Hearts 3 just looks absolutely amazing thanks to the Unreal Engine. Now, Kingdom Hearts 3 has improved lighting, textures, and just has improved a lot. When you pay attention to some of the surfaces, there's a lot of reflection too. Most notably in the ice and the water. Just all worlds look different from just frozen, just from wandering around in the snow and just going to the parts of the Caribbean world, just exploring just like the little beach, just like the little islands or beaches, or just like exploring the water on your ship. It just looks absolutely amazing. Now that's not the only thing that looks amazing. Also, a lot of the attacks have just look amazing too, just have a lot of visual flair compared to Kingdom Hearts 2. There's just some magic attacks and the flow motion rides, and then just also flow motion in general too. And then just the Keyblade attacks look amazing too. It just all looks amazing, and there's even points at time in the game where the cutscenes will just look amazing, just almost movie quality, like compared to Pixar. But there is something a bit off. You can tell, but it's just overall can't fault the game for its graphics. Its graphics look absolutely beautiful for Kingdom Hearts, and it still maintains that Kingdom Hearts visuals too. It still looks like Kingdom Hearts, which I bet a lot of you will be happy about. Now we're going to be talking about the gameplay. Now the gameplay, I'm going to be splitting this up into two topics. I'm going to be talking about the gummy ship, and then I'm also going to be talking about the actual combat itself, with, of course, being the main character that you fight as. Now, first thing with the gummy ship. It's an on-rail shooter, but they've also really opened it up with exploration this time around in Kingdom Hearts 3, whereas in Kingdom Hearts 2, there wasn't really much exploration to do. There wasn't really much to explore to unlock, like, new locations or anything. It was just the same map. And with Kingdom Hearts 3, it really opens up the exploration with the gummy ship, and I really enjoy it too. Even though the combat is easy, the combat is really easy. It's nothing difficult, even on the hardest difficulty mode. Because once you start collecting pieces quickly, the game just starts becoming more easier, and it's just enjoyable though. It's just like a nice fun time away from the main story itself. It's nothing too much, but it's a little bit of fun. And there's a lot of mini bosses that you can have, as like with that one that you can see on the screen right now. And there's just different things to do. And this time around, they offer 3 new locations. No spoilers there, but it's each with their own location and secret boss. And overall, it's nothing bad, but it's nothing that good either. And there's a lot of customization you can do with weaponry and with blocks that you can use to increase your ship's health or speed or attack power, and it's minimal stuff like that. But overall, you could just skip it and not even upgrade your ship. But if you just want a fun time, just casual fun, this is okay. Nothing else. But now we're going to be going into the actual gameplay itself. So let's get right into that. Now, there's a lot to talk about the combat. Now, a lot of stuff makes return from previous Kingdom Hearts games, such as flow motion or shock locks and summons, and a lot of new features too that we're going to be talking about. Now, with flow motion, it's limited compared to how it was in Dream Drop Distance. In Dream Drop Distance, you can just spam flow motion against anything and just kill anything easily. But here, they've realized how much of a problem it was. It was really overused, and I'm glad they made it simple here. It's not as powerful, but it's still just fun to use. You can still use it to climb walls and stuff, but at least they improved it. Now, shock locks. Shock locks are really good to use, especially if you're low on health. If you want to try to avoid attacks, use that. And I really recommend you add in shock locks into your attack moves, and just make sure you use them well too. Time them. You want to make sure you time your shock locks well. Now, another thing I want to get into are the flow motion rides. The flow motion rides are Disneyland theme park rides that you can summon into Kingdom Hearts 3, and they're meant for dealing damage to enemies, mostly a huge group of enemies all at once. And they're really easy to summon. You can practically summon them by building up your attack gauge, which that is built up by landing attacks on enemies. And they're really easy to spam. It's really easy to summon. Like, I've managed to summon them five or four times at most, and it really makes the game unbalanced. If you're really looking for a challenge, I would recommend that you turn off the flow motion rides if you can, and to at least give yourself a challenge and to make the game a little bit more difficult, because these rides really break the game's balance and enemies really can't defend against them. But overall, I think they're nice, but they just feel tacked on, like they're advertisement for Disneyland's theme park overall. Now we're going to get into the magic attacks. Let's get right into that now. Now, the magic attacks can be used at any time, and they use a separate gauge, which is called your MP meter. And your MP meter is how much MP you have to use your magic attacks. Now, certain magic moves will use up a lot of MP, so I recommend you use them wisely. More specifically, I'm talking about Curaga or any of the cures. They use up a lot of the MP, which I would recommend you would play smart if you're playing on the hardest difficulty mode. But it's at least limited, so it's not as easy to use and not as easy to spam. But a lot more magic attacks are equipped through the battle gauge or damage meter, whatever you want to call it, and it opens up a lot new variety of magic attacks. Like if you could build up certain attacks with certain spells that you're using, such as fire, water, or wind, you can build them up to be even stronger, which summons an even stronger attack that you can summon, like this clip here. And now, my problem is that with the MP or battle meter, whatever you want to call it, is that it's really easy. It's really easy to build up more attacks over time, especially in the end game part of the game, which, to be honest, the game isn't balanced at all, and that's my main problem with this battle gauge. And the magic attacks really are powerful and useful, but it's too broken. It doesn't even give you a challenge anymore like previous Kingdom Hearts games have. And now I want to get into the actual attacks, and we'll get right into that now. Now, these are your basic attacks. Your basic attacks are basically moves that you can equip to Sora or any of your party members, for that matter, that you can see in this menu. And you can also equip for mobility, for just extra magic or support. And a lot of them do a lot of different things, like zero XP. You don't gain any XP whatsoever if you want to give yourself a challenge. So you fight them at your basic level 1 if you want to. And for the most part, this really does give you a really good customization for what you can do to build up your Sora or however you want to play. And this is also how you can turn off special moves such as the flow motion rides, as I talked about before. And overall, it really does give you a variety, and it's the same thing as previous Kingdom Hearts games have given you. Now, there's nothing too much to talk about here, but I just if you want to challenge, I suggest you turn off certain moves and do whatever you want. Just go crazy if you want to give yourself a challenge. That's what this is for. Now we're gonna get into the actual story. Now let's get right into that. I'm not gonna get too much into the story here. Now, to sum it up, this is everything that the previous Kingdom Hearts games have led up to. Now, for fans, some fans might be happy about this game, some fans might not be happy about this. But to me, the story is okay for the most part. It's not anything too good, but it's just what Kingdom Hearts fans have come to expect. Now, for newcomers, the story might be a bit confusing, so for any newcomers, I highly don't recommend this game. Just start off with the remixes to be safe if you want to get a better understanding of the franchise. And now for the actual game, for the actual part of the story, I have several problems with this. A lot of characters are left out from previous Kingdom Hearts games, such as the Final Fantasy characters, which has already been talked about in previous videos. And that's really disappointing to see as a long-time Kingdom Hearts fan myself. I've really grown attached to a lot of the Final Fantasy characters, and they were my first introduction into Final Fantasy as well, which is really disappointing, especially when you take into account that Final Fantasy characters have been in the series for a long time. I mean, sure, they were absent in Drop Distance, but they still are absent throughout the entire game. There's a slight reference to them, but other than that, there's not much. You don't get any Final Fantasy characters in here. And also, I have a problem with the story's plot structure. Everything seems slow at first, from the beginning world, such as Hercules and also Frozen. That world seems a bit slow. The pacing feels really off at times. Sometimes it'll go really fast, such as Monsters Inc. or Toy Story, but other times it'll feel slow. And it's near the end of the game where you will really see the difference. And it feels like they really did try to rush towards the ending. And to me, the ending was alright, but it wasn't what I was expecting at all. I wanted them to take their time and build up to it slowly. But instead it feels rushed, like they wanted to finish this and they didn't have enough time. But other than that, I also had problems with the characters. Some of the characters, their interactions seemed kind of off, such as Roxas and Ventus. Like, we all expected them to meet each other and see each other, that they looked exactly alike, but we didn't get that big of a scene, and we didn't get too much time on the reunions and some of the characters. Again, no spoilers, so I'm not going to get too much into that. But it's just, I expected more. And as a fan, I have left disappointed in a way. I'm not completely disappointed. I love the ending. It was alright. It wasn't anything too good, but it wasn't anything bad. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't bad at all by any means. But it just wasn't to what I come to want as a Kingdom Hearts fan. And I also have a problem, again, with the gameplay. Just those things just ruin the experience as a Kingdom Hearts fan. And overall, I'm just very disappointed. I just wanted more from this franchise. But that's just me, and I'm time to give this game a review. Now, if I were to give it a number review, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. To me, again, just because of the lackluster gameplay, which was broken and unbalanced, didn't give any much of a challenge, and then also the story feeling rushed and weirdly paced. It started slow, and near the end, it just felt too fast. There wasn't any balance. Like in the Kingdom Hearts 2, that game was perfectly balanced, where they had a beginning where you went through all the planets once, then in the middle you met the organization or the bad villains of the franchise, and then there was a third part of the game where you went through the worlds again to stop the organization members from meddling. And I would have felt better if that's what they did here, but they didn't, and that's why I felt so off and so rushed. And I honestly beat Kingdom Hearts within like 13 hours. I just kind of wanted to get to the parts that matter. And a lot of the Disney content, such as the princesses and all that, kind of take away from that, which ruins the experience. It feels oddly misplaced. And while I appreciate what they did with Toy Story and also what they did with Big Hero 6 World, a lot of the other worlds just feel reused. Just as the same thing, just as the same problems with the other previous Kingdom Hearts games where you have to go through the entire movie practically. But overall, I am giving this game a 7 out of 10. Disappointed as a fan, but I think most of you will enjoy this who see this video. And hopefully you guys give it a chance. So, this has been a fun review. This has been a really good game. And I really have to say, give it a chance. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And tune in for the next video, guys. Peace.
Turns the sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways.